God damn it. Yeah, it's being a fucking dick. Fuck's sake. Okay. How live am I? Seems to be live. Okay. I think I'm live. Gonna say hello in the comments and see if they come up. All right, cool. Sounds like I'm live. Just making sure here. Yeah. It's so weird. Okay, so just, it's just a weird thing. So, I don't know if there's just something wrong with Facebook in their widget or something like that. So I'm, I'm live, and so I'm sending it out just a public event, and so I'm monitoring it as if I'm seeing it from the public's eye line, and it's saying commenting has been turned off for this post, though it hasn't. So if you're seeing that thing that says commenting has been turned off for this post, it hasn't. I'm able to comment, and I did a test earlier where people were seeing it and able to comment. So I don't know, man. Seems weird to me. So if you're on and you want to comment, please do so if you're able. If you have problems with it for some reason. What I'll do, I think, because I did this the other day, is see if all right, let me actually do this differently. Let's see it that way. Exit view as. And then I'm also going to put it in here. I'm going to add a post. Paste. Yeah. Let's see if I do that there, and I can actually send this with an external link here. Next and next and next update. So now people can join the event from Laia. Okay. So we'll see what happens. As usual, I'm by myself, but I don't know if that means anything anymore. I don't know, dude. Facebook seems to throw curveballs at me every now and again, like it did last night. And so, tech blah, blah, blah. It is what it is. So I've invited people. Hopefully people can get in. If people can't somehow, definitely let me know. That way I can potentially see what's going on. Because I'd hate for people to be trying to get in and then can't just because of Facebook's being a dick. Now, I suppose it doesn't make sense to call Facebook a dick while I'm trying to use its platform to stream. But kind of is what it is. So I'm gonna, So I've sent this. Yeah, I've sent the link out. I've done that. So that's all I can do. Hopefully people show up. If not, it's another one that I do by myself. I am recording, obviously, as I do, and I try to put these up on YouTube. I've got to. I'm a little backlogged on sending these up to YouTube because I've got to do some editing. The past couple, the one from last night is mostly just garbage. For the first half of it's garbage, and the one from the night before or the one before it, I need to just kind of go in and pull a few things out. Same thing, mostly tech problem garbage. So anyway, yeah, I'm here. It's funny. I was doing a test at around 6 o'clock, like supper time, and a bunch of people saw it. Were coming in to have me do the thing, like out of nowhere. So I'm wondering whether it's do I do an event invite kind of thing or no. I'm not sure. I still do the Instagram thing where I'm just kind of letting people know ahead of time, and I pop it up there, and then I throw it here, and then it's all a thing. So anyway, I don't know. I'm live. I'm here. I'm gonna do some stuff. So again, just as a reminder of let's see. Just seems so odd. So actually, if I go this way, yeah, I guess what it comes down to is that I'm wondering if it's just if you're a friend, you can comment. Otherwise, you can't. Maybe that's what it is. I'm not sure. All right, so I'm just going to start. I'm going to just do my thing and hope people sign on and don't have a problem. Again, I'm assuming I can see my little VU meter going, so hopefully people can hear me. So what I'm doing for this month of December, as basically I have the month off due to COVID furlough, and then kind of dovetails right into the holiday. So I'm able to take this month off to just do some stuff. So one of the things I've been doing is just doing a chat thing. Seems like some people come up and some people don't. It's hard to say whether doing this via the public outreach or just the invite outreach is the best way to go. I'm not really sure. As well as doing an actual event page, which I did for the first time today. So yeah. So if you can hear me but can't see me or comment, you can also send a message via my messenger if you're a friend. Otherwise, I guess we'll have to kind of just wing it. So one of the things I've been doing, or I'm in the process of doing this month, is just doing these live things. I'm going to looking at potentially a new career, either as a radio personality or I've got the face for radio, as people would say. Podcasting, voiceover work. I'm also a singer, obviously. The people that know me, I'm a singer. So, background vocal work. Reading for those with sight issues, that kind of thing. So I'm just kind of creating content to create a reel that maybe people would be interested in hearing, or not. Who knows? But to fill in some of that time, the other thing that I'm in the process of also working on is some remastering of some of my work, some friends' work. I'm trying to do finishing some of my own work, so it's amazing how already half of the month is almost gone, and I've been trying to do a little bit of work every day of some sort, and it all kind of quickly flies by, So, and with Christmas sort of kind of technically being canceled, at least my version of Christmas that I've looked forward to for many years has been canceled. So it basically comes down to just, it'll be me and my cat, and maybe doing some, I don't know, some Zoomies or something. Maybe I'll do a Facebook Live that day or not. I'm still thinking of doing a Facebook Live on Christmas Eve to see if I can maybe do some content stuff. Watch videos, maybe listen to some Christmas songs, do the things that I would normally do on a Christmas Eve. But unfortunately, because of copywritten content, that might be difficult because I get shut down potentially. So I don't know. I'll have to look at that. Anyway, there is what I'm going to do tonight is, and I did this a couple of nights ago, where I was basically just listening to some of my own work, and what it is that I'm again in the process of doing some remastering work with not only for some clients of mine, or a client of mine, but also I want to look at some albums that I've put out in the past, and potentially remaster them so that I can put them up on Bandcamp to, so people can, so just kind of a one-stop shop, so people can find whatever it is I do if they're interested or not. But it's also a way that I can point people to, if they're interested in hearing my voice potentially or whatever. So what I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to listen to, and I'm going to do this in two parts because this would be a long night if I did it otherwise. So long story short, there's an album called Taken Aurally, or Taken Aurally is a stereo version, and then Taken Aurally is the mono version of the same record. It's 10 songs. I released it on CD, so it had both the stereo and mono versions of the record. So I was able to, what inspired me was the idea that I could some of the re-releases of like early '60s records and things were adding the original mixes of both mono and stereo, and I kind of liked the idea, so I thought, why not? Interesting sort of little exercise, I suppose. And so the record has a long gestation, where I started it, I want to say 1995 is when I actually started working on this record. Yeah. So you're right. So that's 25 years ago. Yep. And just very slowly, because I'm very slow with doing most of my records for some reason, mainly because I'm also a producer of other people's records. So, very rarely do I have enough time to sort of just really sit down and focus on my work and get it done in a timely manner. So after a number of years, it came to, it was like 2007, I did the first pass at a remastering project, or finishing, not even a remastering project, but finishing the record. And so I brought it up to, so I finished mixing it. Not only finished mixing it, but I had a lot of recording to do on it. So finished doing that, and I actually did that pretty quickly, considering when I finally made the decision to finish the damn thing. It went fairly quickly because I just knew I knew what I needed. I just had to do it. I just sit and do it. So I did it. So got it mastered in 2007. Didn't like the master, so I paid all this money, and it's nobody's fault but mine. I brought it to Sound Mirror up in Boston, who have done a number of masters for me in the past that have been great. For whatever reason, and I don't know. I think there comes a point where they're classical. Their forte is classical music as far as recording and mastering and releasing CDs, and multi Grammy nominations and wins and all that kind of stuff. So, I think I don't know if rock and roll is really their forte. I mean, it's a great facility, but So anyway, I wasn't really happy with the master to manufacture at that point. So fast forward another 5 years, and I finally did my own remaster, and finally did like a short run of CDs, of which I don't have any on me to show you the artwork, but I can, whatever. And I basically, I've just kind of gone from there. I still have to. I never really made it available up online, and that's the one thing I want to do. Obviously, I still have plenty of CDs left as well of the old version of it, but I want to do a new remastered version of it, if possible. So that's the idea. So the idea tonight would be to listen. I'm going to listen to the stereo version of it, and I'm seeing Margaret Malozzi is watching me. I hope. Are you able to comment, Margaret? Even though I'm not sure. So I'm looking at it as a public view, but so it says commenting has been turned off for this post, but that's not true. So I'm just be curious if you can actually hear and see me correctly and can comment actually. But if you can't, I guess there's no way for you to let me know. I'm not sure because Facebook's just being weird, and I'm just trying to get a sense of why it's being weird, But anyway, thanks for coming by. So I'm gonna play some music, my music, so that they don't turn me off, and I'll probably do a little bit of commentary of what it is I'm doing is listening to these songs and getting a sense of like what do these songs need as far as mastering goes. So basically, you're gonna watch me work. I figure, hey, there's nothing else to do, right? So. And if nothing else, I can get some of my music out there. If people are interested, they can let me know, and I'll get it to them. So we're going to go through Taken Aurally, which is the stereo version of the record. And first up is probably my most popular song, as it turns out, from a lot of people who have said that they like this song a lot. And I think I agree, it's one of my favorites. And all right, so I'm going to play it and let me know if you can hear it, and let me know if you can comment or not, and we'll go from there. Here we go. I'd like to talk about cages or whips and chains, having no legs, having no cash, nothing that lasts. It's already written all too much.
Time it seems is turned around, finding things not ever found. The pounding in our hearts gets loud and fades away. Why is time so slow? Why aren't these things to know? Why are hearts still beat with nothing there? We looked into each other's eyes, tried to find each other's minds. For what it's worth, at least we try to find ourselves. Not angry at you per se, not angry at me, just angry how it all went down that day. What can I say? We did the best we could. In who can I confide what I feel when I talk with you? Since my heart gave up and out and lay there beating on the floor.
I would take a pause there for a second. That's that was These Bones. Yeah, that's a fun one. I like that one. Again, I haven't listened to this record in a while, so I forget kind of what's on it or how it was produced. For the most part, all the little details and things. Yeah, that, like I said in the comments, that particular one was I finished it finally, and then I just did like a scratch stereo mix of it, and just so I could listen to it and just as demos, before I went to actually try to remix it for real and all that. I don't know how many versions or how many mixes I went through that particular song, but it was I never bettered it. I never bettered this just scratch demo mix, and I just said, well, all right, well, whatever. Somehow I caught lightning in a bottle with that first mix and just went from there. But yeah, I could definitely see that. I'd love to remaster that one and see if I can pull some more of that out. But anyway, moving on. From one thing to another, so you can see how you'll hear how I crossfaded this particular one into the next couple of pieces, which that was probably the heaviest thing on the record, close enough. But so next up is actually the oldest song on the record, called "Look at You." It was actually written way back in 1986, I want to say. And again, I had done a couple of different versions of this on a couple of different records, and then just decided, look, I just need to finish this correctly, because it was one of the earlier songs of mine that I liked, very Beatley. So you'll hear that in a second. Here we go.
Well, 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 look at you. Seems you got your life sewed up. Found someone to hold your hand. Now you wanna tie it up. Look at you, afraid to cry. I know why. You're so afraid to be alone. You might realize that you're not happy with your life, and you need someone to hold the gun from your head. Will you hear a word I've said? Look at you, with the tired smile and the twitchy hands. Look at you, with the shaky mind and the aching heart. Look at you, look at you, look at you, look at you. Look at you, afraid to cry. I know why. You're so afraid to be alone. You might realize that you're not happy with your life, and you need someone to hold the gun from your head. Will you hear a word I've said? Look at you, with the tired smile and the twitchy hands. Look at you, with the shaking mind and the aching heart. Look at you, things have never been so bad. Look at you, I can tell when you're feeling sad. Look at you, take a chance and get out of bed. Look at you, listen to the like a lemming takes the air. It's just that I miss you. I just missed you. That's all. I knew the facts of the matter. They weren't hard to find. Looking into cupboards for the third or fourth time, moving my ears for the sounds of your voice. It's just so quiet, a quiet I've never heard before. It's just that I miss you. I just missed you. That's all. That's all. That's all.
Yeah. So technically, that if I ever had the opportunity to release any of this stuff on vinyl, because I've yet to be able to do that, this actually album would probably be perfect for it because it's only 10 songs. Excuse me. And so that would have been the end of side one. So you go and you go over to the thing, you pick it up, you flip it over, and then we would start up from there. One thing to say about this record is that the songs on it again are they were written. There's a big range of years that some of these songs were written. Again, the earliest one is 1986, and then there was a big sort of space between that and then I wrote a couple of songs here or there, or pieces of songs in like the early 90s, and then 1995 I wrote like 3 or 4 more of them, and finished again some of the other ones. So 2 of these are covers on this record that are coming up on the second side, and I'll have stories about that as well. But so next up, again, we're on side 2 of what would be Taken Aurally, the stereo version of the record, and it's called And it's an instrumental called 66 Strings Attached.
There's you, you're sleeping over there, whilst me, I'm sitting here, with so much sea between us. I can't make it much more clear. There'll be no time for crying. We won't make it more than 6. I could change my plea to guilty, but I don't think it would stick. Still, those are the ratings, far too easy to despise. We've sat so much in silence now, I truly am disguised. She said, I need to find someone just like you, so sweet, such care in your eyes. Someone who listens just like you do and would never stoop to lies. Such a well-worn refrain to never hear again. A sickly song in my head, it comes around again and again and again. She says, I need to find someone just like you, so sweet, such care in your eyes. Someone who listens just like you do and would never stoop to lies. Thrown back through time to another girl, a different scene, the same life. Like a cat being fed, it comes around again and again and again. Well, every year and ten it seems that everything might change, but still I have this same old heart that still feels disengaged. Are you just another end to come? Where should I begin before I'm done to start? Such a well-worn refrain, I hope you'll never hear again. A sickly song in my head, it comes around again and again and again. She'll say, I need to find someone just like you, so sweet, such care in your eyes. Someone who listens just like you do and would never stoop to lies.
All right, we'll take a quick break on those last couple. So the instrumental 66 strings attached on the CD of it, because it's the sixth song on there. So I thought it kind of funny that because the title is 66 and it's the sixth track, so of course it comes up to 666, because I can, whatever. Doesn't mean anything. But I had that stupid riff running around my head for years and years and years. Like, again, probably we're talking in the late 80s. I just had that intro riff, and I just said, all right, I need to finish this, Then the cover of the Procol Harum song, Too Much Between Us, which is on their A Salty Dog album from 1969. And I have wanted to do that song forever, just because it's one of my favorite songs in general, like ever, and especially of theirs. But so that was fun to do. That one was done actually all. When I finished it, I did all of that pretty quickly actually. Though the tin whistle part was a little difficult at the end. That took a while just to keep it in tune. But anyway, so then it went into Just Like You, which is, again, I always forget how fast I took that in the studio, because I play that live and it's just so much sort of more kind of calm and relaxed, sort of, if you will. Though the song is not necessarily about being calm or relaxed at all, of course. The song. I tell this story before I play that song. Is that I had 3 different people in my life within the space of about a month or so, sort of say something to the effect, I wanted to find someone just like you. It's like, okay, that's not a compliment. You know what I'm saying? So that's, it was one of those things. It's like, that, how often does that happen? Usually if something happens in 3s in my life, that's usually when I prick up my ears and kind of go, I need to jot this down or make note of it in some way. So that came, I'm happy with that song for sure. It would be interesting to hear now that we have all the digital facilities that I'm working on with in Logic and all that kind of stuff. Technically speaking, I could slow that down without changing the key. I would be curious if I could do it successfully, just to hear it more in the at the pace that I take it now. But I don't know. It would probably sound odd, but or it might not sound smooth enough to be able to be used. But that was also, and hopefully once again, I'd love to just before I die on my bucket list, I want to put something out on vinyl. And one of the things I wanted to do with this record, so the first song, Other Pages, and would have been the A side, and then Just Like You was going to be is or will potentially be the B side of this, but both of them would be in mono, like the old days, in a nice, cool picture sleeve and the whole 9 yards. It's one of those things I probably just need to do some sort of a Kickstarter or something like that. If see if anybody's interested, especially these days with vinyl. I think more people would be potentially interested. So another thing on my large list of things to finish or do or whatever, if I have the money and the time. Money is usually the bigger problem, obviously. But if I can parlay some of this voice work into something a little more, lucrative, for me to potentially work on my second act and retire from my current situation, which is sort of just slowly killing me, I think. It's a great job, don't get me wrong. It's just that I'm getting older, and it just comes to a point where it's just like, okay, certain things I'm having a little harder time doing. It's a little harder to, hoist up a big speaker up onto a speaker stand over my head. There was a day I could do it without batting an eye, and these days I have to make sure my stance is right. Okay, is my knee not going to give out? Okay, go my back, make sure my back, and make sure I'm straight. I got to pick it up correct. Yeah, I got to do it. It's like, dude, it's like a puzzle. It's like creating a piece of architecture just to lift a effing speaker onto a stand. So anyway, long story short, yeah. Again, that's why I'm doing this. I'm just kind of doing trying to get a number of ducks in a row potentially for a move sideways. I don't know. Some ways. So as long as it's if something that would pay me is what it comes down to. Pay me to and pay me enough to live, for the love of God. Anyway. So let's see. So next up, just a quick story about this one. So some folks that are up here that are on, so obviously all my friends who know me know that I'm I'm friends with Keith Munslow, and he's actually my oldest friend. I met him in 1974 at a West Warwick summer camp at the Kent County YMCA summer camp, and we somehow learned of each other's love of the Three Stooges, and I think that was really the birth of it there, And so we ended up just hanging out that entire summer. It was very, very, very organic and very, very simple. And then I didn't see him for a couple of years, and then we kind of connected back in, a few years later, and then all through in high school and then into the 80s and 90s. We worked together in a number of bands and acts, and we toured a little bit together. And And then as things happen, he goes into some different areas that I didn't go into, and he strayed onto a path, and I strayed onto a path, and more of like a parallel path than just a completely divergent, because we've kept up with each other and we're still friends, but I miss him for sure, and I'd love to be able to chat with him more. But he's also a doting dad these days, to his young son, and he is a performing artist of his own right, and that's actually how he makes his money. So he's he had somehow he had more of a wherewithal than I did regarding that part of things, being able to just really get his shit together and take that path and just do it. And I never had I don't know, man. I don't know if I had the chutzpah, the ambition, or whatever it was, but I just lacked that little bit of extra whatever to do that on my own. So had to take a job, So, but he would be the first to say that it's not easy for sure. However, anyway, so this next song is one of my favorites of his. And he wrote this when he was a member of then the Smoking Jackets, which turned into the Super Chief Trio, which is not really a trio, but it was. It's now no longer a trio, but they still call themselves that. It's a very sort of sad blues, piano blues thing. But of course, I shifted it over to guitar and turned it more into it's still bluesy, but it's a little more creepy and a little more sort of like psychedelic, if you will. I played it for him. I'm not sure how. I think he appreciated it for what it was. To the degree he actually liked it, I'm not sure. But it was. I loved the song. It was. It always moved me, and it was for me as like it was to me. It was a way of honoring him in some way, some small way. So anyway, this is called 7,000 Years.
I've been alone for 7,000 years. I've been alone for 7,000 years. I can't remember the last time I didn't have a pillow for the last girl I loved left my heart in pieces on the ground. The last girl I loved left my heart in pieces on the ground. It blew up in her hands and she acted like she never even heard the sound. I pray, someone's gonna come along and make me see the light. And I pray, someone's gonna come along and make me see the light. A little girl
Okay. Yeah. Forgot I did that. I intentionally. That was supposed to be like a fade out, a long fade out. That I just said, too funny. I'll just leave it up, leave it all in there. Yeah, because you can, and I can do what I want. So, yeah. Anyway, so that's the stereo version of my album, Taken Aurally. And what I'll probably do is that maybe a few days down the road, I'll do the mono version of Taken Aurally, which is called Taken Monorally, and talk about that. So the thing that I did between the stereo and the mono versions is that I did some slightly different mixes of the songs, and the idea was that if you listened to the whole record, so basically right after that song is done, Love is Confusion, when it kind of cuts off the way it does, it dovetails directly into the mono version of Other Pages. So there's literally it's like you're going to listen to the whole thing twice, whether you like it or not, kind of thing. But what I did, like I said, I did some different mixes or different things in the mixes to differentiate them, kind of like how the Beatles did it in the 60s, where if you had the stereo version of an album and a mono version of the album, the two would be potentially very different, especially like, say, if Sgt. Pepper album, where they had the mono version was the one they wanted people to listen to, was the one they put the time into. And so the stereo version was sort of not an afterthought, but didn't have the same amount of time put into it. So there's a lot of differences of when things come in and out, the instruments and the speeds of some of the songs and effects that happen on certain songs that don't happen in the stereo version, et cetera, et cetera. So I wanted to do a little bit of that just for, shits and giggles, because I can. So anyway, that's that. It's about 9:15 now. Again, I wish I had a better sense of like how people are viewing it, if they're able to comment or not. Again, I set this up as a public event, so basically anybody seeing it live could just come into it. And I did see a couple of people pop in whose names I didn't know, so that was that. But I am certainly, so I'm trying to figure that out. I'm not sure if that all worked correctly or not. Also, the fact, so I also put in an online event thing today, but I'm thinking I might put a few of them up later for successive days. So that way, if people are interested, they'll see it and have it and maybe, want to come and check it out. So I don't know. This is all, I'm making this up as I go along, if you hadn't figured that out yet. So, this is a long ways from being smooth in any way, shape, or form, but that's fine. I'm not worried about that. I'm, again, making this up as I go along and just kind of adding. The bigger thing is making sure that my technical stuff is working. So at least I know that much is working, that I know I finally worked it out within my computer system to be able to send you nice stereo audio without my voice echoing over the top of it and stuff like that. So that's the first part of it. So the next part is just making sure that the widget works. If for some reason Facebook just isn't working, I may experiment again with YouTube. I did one of them on YouTube and see if it does anything different, if it's any easier somehow or not. I don't know. I figured Facebook would have maybe a better sort of immediate kind of viewership if people are on at that time. Now, that being said, 8 o'clock might also be too late for folks. So you'd have to let me know if an 8 o'clock start. I mean, listen, at my advanced age and or weight, 8 o'clock is potentially difficult. So, I mean, I'm lucky this month. Again, I don't have to work and I don't have to wake up at any specific time. So I'm less worried about it and I'm less stressed about it. So I can stay. And it's funny, what I'm noticing, and I noticed it today, is that since I've been off, I have allowed myself to really kind of move back into my more natural rhythms as I had been like years ago. So, I would stay up a little bit later. I'd stay up until maybe 1:30 at night, and then, sleep until, 9:30, and then do my day and do all that kind of stuff. And so it's interesting how quickly I've shifted back into that mode, and how less stressed I am, to be honest. I mean, Jesus, if there's a way that I can figure that out moving forward at some point, not I'm sure it's not going to happen right away. Oh, guess who's back? What? You want to say hello to everybody again? You want to say hello? No? What do you want to do? No, he wants treats. He wants treats again. Hard to say. He's feeling better, but he was feeling lethargic earlier. Then he was feeling better. I don't know. He's going to the vet Friday. Anyway. So anyway, long story short, hey, there's Bill. Took me a bit to find it. I ended up on your page, so I know how. Blah blah blah. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. So that's, I guess. So Bill sees it. So you can comment, Bill. You can see that. So it's weird, as I was saying earlier. Like if I go up here and I look at the page, you can click it. You can click on my pages if you are just seeing it from the public's eye view, like not as a friend's view. And it comes up as saying comments are shut off for this live chat, but they're not. So it's weird. So unless it is that only my friends can comment, I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out the vagaries of the Facebook algorithm, because I don't understand it, to be honest. And I'm sure I'm not the only person not to understand it. But it's good to see you there, Bill. It's been a while. You just missed the end of the show, sort of, but since there's a couple more folks on, I'll do a couple more bits, and just in hopes you'll make it again tomorrow. Anyway, what I'm doing is just currently working on some remastering projects, and I'm kind of doing it live a little bit. So like I'm just in the process of just listening to things and making notes and things, but I figured, I'll do it live, So I may even do the process live. So once I get into the remastering proper, so I've figured out how to do it so that I can send my stereo out into the live stream, working from Logic now with the microphone, and you'll hear all the effects, and you'll hear all the work I'm doing. So a little bit of a peek to the in the background. Here all night, most of last night. Oh, okay, cool. Good to know. It's hard. Yeah, I guess it's hard to know because, like, again, Facebook isn't really clear of like how many people are on and how many people are. It's odd. So that's the idea. This is a sort of an ongoing thing, is that I'm going to kind of work publicly, if that makes any sense. I kind of was. I've always been a fan of looking behind the curtain, especially regarding recording and all that kind of stuff. So I'm any of the like the remixes of like the Beatles stuff and the all the just the minutia of like the mics used and how many takes involved, and what George Harrison was wearing that day. I'm fascinated by that stuff and always have been. So I don't know, and I could reread it forever, especially like the Beatles recording set. Anyway, long story short, I'm very much into that process. So I thought, well, why not? I have nothing else to do. Maybe some other folks don't have anything else to do, considering COVID right now. We're all stuck. So I figure if you're interested, I can just put it up, and if you're not, then you can kind of come in and out as you will, right? And but that's the idea. That's the thought process behind it. So, and again, I'm working on a bunch of different things. I'm doing a remaster for Steve Job of the very first Cork Productions cassette called Fragments, which I actually did find my a couple of copies of the original Fragments cassette 001. Oh wait, is it 001? It is 001. Okay, that's right. Space Heater was 002. Anyway, but we are in the process of, just at the start of the process of remastering that. And I listened to a few things the other day, and but I want to actually maybe do it with Steve Job online with me. So I'm going to work on that and see if he's interested at some point, like maybe on a weekend when he's not working, to see if he'd be interested in doing sort of a tandem commentary while we listen to it, to just make notes and stuff, and just to talk about it, because we also finished a record just before we went into COVID hiding, if you will, and that was this record. We finished Where the Fish Are, and that was about 3 years in the making or so. Started in the beginning of 2017 in March. I think it was March, yeah. And it's also the same year that I decided, well, I'm going to buy a house. I don't know. Just sort of finally got the thought that's like, I'm all this money's going toward rent to a shitty apartment. I might as well, if I can do this, if I can figure out a way to do it even with my shitty credit, I'll do it. So I did it. So long story short, that took up the rest of the summer. So we had a bit of a long pause before we got back into it in the fall, in the following year. And then from there, did most of it here at the house, and finally got it done. And then he did a short run of the CD, and did the whole schmear, mastered it myself as well, did all the artwork for him as well. So it's a good record. I'm very happy with it and very proud of it. So so there's that. And then also I think all this time kind of thinking about things, and especially all this time off from my regular job, is I'm able to kind of gather my actual thoughts and not my work thoughts, and of things I want to do and things I want to. So I want to get all my back catalog up on Bandcamp. Remaster it, just make it sound nice, make it available in regular versions and high-res versions if people want it. I still have CDs, copies kicking around of a few of the records, But that's the idea. And then obviously still working on finishing up the last album that I did work on, which was in 1999 that I wrote it all. So we're talking, already 22 years trying to get that stupid thing done. And so I want to do all that. I'm doing all that and chatting and just putting my voice out there. Anybody, if you know anybody who needs voiceover work, doing book, reading books and articles and news and stuff for people that are hard of sight, all that kind of stuff. That's what I'm trying to do, because I figure as I've gotten older, the only thing that's sort of stuck with me, knock wood, has been my voice. Other things are very quickly failing. Knees, back, hair, eyes, teeth. Everything else is failing. So I feel very lucky that my voice is still good enough, Otherwise, I'm just kind of here doing shit, and obviously we have this big storm coming up tomorrow, so that's interesting, I suppose. But so it'll be a white Christmas for all it's worth. So I'll tell you what. I'll do one more piece. Let's see. Actually, what I'm gonna do. Actually, this is what I'll do. Let me see. If I can find it. All right. So what I did. All right. So one the album I'm in that hasn't been finished. Again, started back in 1999. Wrote all the songs pretty quickly, actually. For the most part, actually, there was like one or two of them that were a little bit older songs. And a couple other songs came out on a couple of different releases in various versions, but, not really in any big public way. And I'm in the process of adding tracks to them and overdubbing and trying to just finish them. They were basically demos of the songs, but I kind of came to the conclusion that the demos just kind of, I wasn't going to really better the demos, like the performances on the demos. And I just thought, so even though the recording is a little not perfect, it didn't matter. It was what's down on those demos. So I'm gonna just try and add to them, remix them, remaster them, get it up on Bandcamp, and if I can make a short run of CDs, I will. Hey, Steph, I'm just seeing you're here. I was going to say your voice is soothing to me, and I've had a couple. Aw, that's nice. Sorry you're having a couple hard days. That sucks. So Steph, it's funny you say that. It's just interesting because I mean, I have to live with my voice, so I'm sick and tired of hearing my voice, and I often think that my colleagues at work are sick and tired of hearing my voice, but it's a different venue. But anyway, what happened was over the the past semester, just the fall semester. So a lot of the teaching was done hybrid. So some of it was on site, but a lot of it was remote or both or whatever. So and a lot of pretty much no events other than if they were Zoom oriented or whatever. So I had a couple of different symposiums of panelists from all over the world doing So I was kind of I'm in the driving seat of the Zoom, and I had a couple of different people who I've worked with before, but they don't know that I'm a musician or a singer or anything like that. They don't know that part of my life. They just know me as the IT guy that's going to help them make sure the Zoom runs smoothly and all that kind of stuff. So I had two or three people basically say the same thing. It's just like, one person specifically just said, you've got a really great voice for radio. And I said, I got the face for it too. Woohoo! So the fact that I heard a couple of people told me that, I had to take notice of it and went, okay, get over yourself. If this is potentially something that people might be interested in, then, I'd be stupid not to at least approach the idea that, potentially a second act in my life. Because again, doing physical work in the university, in the setting that I do it, and the things that I have to do as part of my job, it's a great job. It's just, I'm no spring chicken anymore. So, if I can do something where I can literally work from home and record and edit my voice for, doing voiceover work or again, like, talking books or whatever, that's the idea. So I appreciate that stuff. I'm here I'm here most every night at 8:00. So if you're, definitely come by again. But so I'm going to play something from the record that's been unfinished for 22 years now, and it's called A Fool's Paradise. Yeah, it's a bad pun. I know it is, but that's the point. But I want to play... So I did a few new mixes of some things with so using Logic, and I had all of these reels of tapes digitally transferred to stems. I sent them or brought them, actually hand delivered them to a place in New Jersey, and they do the thing where they bake the tapes and then make sure that they save the tapes, and then they play them and then send me the digital files, and then I bring them into Logic, and then I can mix from there. So I'm gonna play a song that's from that's probably the most complete of anything that's on the record, and it's called A Pea and a Promise. And some people may have heard this before, I'm not sure, but I'm just going to play it. Anyway, here we go.
How do you live on a pea and a promise that you intend not to keep? Sleeping comes easy, and I know that you Yes, I know that you'd love a parade. You stand there so still with that pain in your hands, and your legs just won't move on demand. Can you feel me touching you? Can you feel me touching you? Can you feel at all the ice in your shoes ever you see what you will, then blindingly wail. How many times can you fail? 5 years of laughter, making love in the rain. Only 5 years of crying remain. For all of the tears shed and all of the drain, have you thought what it's like to refrain? Can you feel me touching you? Can you feel me touching you? Can you feel at all? Do you laugh as you bounce off the
And that was called "A Pea and a Promise." That was just sort of a rough mix of that song. I'm actually, the more I listen to it, I feel like I want to add 12-string guitars to that, to sort of double that what that acoustic guitar is, the acoustic guitars are doing. So that's like I said, that's kind of where I'm at. I listen to the songs over and over and over again, and just think, oh, that needs that, or that doesn't need that, or whatever. Like I said, if I had just plenty of time to focus, where I don't have to go to work, I could get the damn thing done. But you'll see, Lefty has made himself comfortable here, but that's okay because he can. Hey, I'm seeing Leah Reynolds is on. That's cool. How you doing, Leah? It's been forever, I think. It's been forever. For those of you who do not know, it's actually, I'm just realizing I've got both Stephanie and Leah here, who were instrumental in the start of a run of the, I still think was the best open mic that ever happened in Rhode Island, which started at the Custom House Tavern with Stephanie, and which then moved through into Steve Dubois, which then got grandfathered to me through all that, and then we did a little bit of some time at the Everyman, And yeah, so I've been. I think I'm retired from that. I think it's safe to say. I did. I think my last one was 2000. Trying to think what my last one was now. Geez, I'm starting to forget. It might have been as far back as 2014. I want to say maybe. Yeah, that sounds right. Anyway, so yeah, again, a lot of the stuff that I do in the studio probably is sort of impossible for me to play, on my own at an open mic. So like a song like that one, that would be impossible for me to play live. I don't have the facility that I have on guitar is sort of it takes a while to get it right for me sometimes in the studio, especially like a piece like that, a little too intricate and for for like a just a setting live. But anyway, so well, I've got some folks here. I feel like I'll do, what is it? So let's see. It's 9:39. I'll tell you what. I'm going to go a little longer. I'm going to go till 10. Why the hell not? I can because I'm beholden to nobody but myself and my cat here. And that's it. So I can do what I want. So what the heck? Why don't I listen to a couple more bits and pieces? Let's see. Let me put this guy down. So let's see. Let me play a couple more bits. Again, these are rough mixes of some bits off of this record. Okay, so the next one I'll play for you is a song called 27 Spins, and the story about this one goes is somebody who I was smitten with at the time, all of 22 years ago. It was one of those things where she said, "Oh, write me a birthday song." It's like, and this is like the day before or something, like a couple of days before. And it's just like, oh, and what are you supposed to say? She knows I write songs. I'm not going to say, no, I can't write you a song for your birthday, especially if I figure that if I write her a song for her birthday, gets me in that much better. I mean, the shit you do when you're younger, you're smitten, you kind of do anything for that potential opportunity to be with this person, right? Because it's a dude thing to do. So I do the thing. I definitely, I write the song kind of under pressure, and comes out as a country song, very much in the style of Michael Nesmith. Most any country-ish song that I've ever written is very far into the Michael Nesmith zeitgeist, because that's where I grew up. That's the country stuff that I grew up with, was his the first National Band records and stuff like that. So, and this one isn't fully complete. I'm actually adding to this one as we speak. I'm adding some actual pedal steel guitar to it, which I need to finish and do. So anyway, so yeah, it's again country tune called 27 Spins. Here we go.
So here's your birthday card. You asked, so I thought hard. A song to sing today on this your happy birthday. My inspiration sank, and all the words just stank. And I tried and tried.
So yeah, there's that. Thanks, Steph. I appreciate that. Um, so yeah, despite the fact that it was just this sort of toss off, it's one of those. Yeah, it's one of those ones where it's like I felt kind of very blessed that like she kind of gave me that challenge that because I kind of came out with a pretty good song. It could have just been like it lasted beyond me playing it for her birthday. It had enough going on in there to be worthy to continue with. And some of those high notes, I'm not sure if I can hit them anymore, but yeah, I oddly enough, if I have these days one does not want to have a cold, obviously, but in the past, normally, like if I around this time, if I would get a cold or something like that, and I'd have like a little bit of upper respiratory stuff going on or whatever, I would be able to hit those falsetto notes a lot easier. So, so like I would kind of work, when I would be recording, like for in general, is like I would kind of work it around. As like if I got a cold and I knew I had that upper respiratory thing, I would actually figure out, okay, I need to get it. I have to find that right spot where it doesn't sound like I have a cold, but I can hit those notes. So a lot of those high notes, or a lot of some of my higher singing is I'm in the throes of having some sort of upper respiratory something or other going on. But I so yeah, so Steph, yeah, for sure, women, not only dudes write those kinds of songs, so I get that for sure. I guess just coming from the dude point of view, it's sort of you hear a lot more of it, or you see a lot of it, or something like that. So what like, put it this way, like, so this whole record, this whole album that's unreleased is pretty much most of the songs are about this one person that I was smitten with at the time. So, and it goes from, it's a pretty gnarly roller coaster. I was not in a good state of mind in those days. I think I listen back to some of these songs and I kind of go, should I even like release these? Because they come across as a little, they could be maybe looked at, especially in this day and age, as being something not so, what's the word I'm looking for, palatable, shall we say. But the more that I listen to them, the more I realize, it's like, look, it's true to the time. It was true to who I was 22 years ago, when I was still drinking and still, just not in a good headspace. So I got some good songs out of it, and there's nothing untoward about them. It's just it's where my head was at the time, and I think that my headspace now. I look back on this and go, some of these songs I think were definitely a little bit. Put it this way, the drama quotient in some of the songs were very self-imposed, but in the song they sound like, oh, this person is doing this to me, right? It's like, no, not at all. I'm doing it to myself, because that's what it is. You fall for somebody. It's an unrequited thing, and so you tend to project what you're doing to yourself onto that other person, and blame it on them. It isn't cool. It's not very nice. I think, but, when you're in that state of mind, you're not thinking clearly, for sure, So I can see it now, and I can definitely, I'm removed from it. So I figured, okay, well, as long as I can see it clearly now, then then fine. Then I'll work on it. I'll finish it and make it so that I feel happy about putting it out there, and then getting it the hell out of my life, So let's see, what does this say? So you need to help me with some so I need them to sound better. Oh, okay. Wait, so Steph, well, tell you what, DM me separately if you have some stuff that you're interested in me maybe working on. That for sure. I don't believe we live that far from each other either, so though these days, for this kind of stuff, I'm doing most everything remotely, so it's all working. That part of it's working anyway. So yeah, let's talk on the DM for sure. or in Messenger, right? So what do we got? It's about 9:50. So I'll play one more song, and let's see. Trying to find one that hasn't been. All right, so I hang on. I gotta find the right ones here. I've got these songs kind of splayed over a number of different areas on my computer, and I didn't have them. I didn't have them ready. I apologize. That's the new ones. Where are the old ones? What's going on here? Well, I know they're here somewhere. Hang on. Oh, maybe not. I thought I had them up here in a list on my iTunes. Basically, a certain song I was looking to. Oh, wait. Oh, no. Those are the mix. What's that? No, that's something different. That's not what I want to say. Well, I might have to be content with. Oh, here it is. I found it. Okay. So. Right. Okay. So the one I want to play is actually a favorite of mine, and this one's actually pretty much done. There's nothing else I have to do to this other than remix it and remaster it. So this is one of those songs that it was actually written. Let's see, it would have been 2001. Yeah, no, that's right. Yeah, actually, yeah, that's right. It would have been almost 20 years ago. I had just come off of having the 2 surgeries on my wrists for carpal tunnel. So I was out of commission for a while there, about a year for those. And then I got hired to do actually, it's right, and it's right. It was a Christmas Christmas play. It was at the then Sandra Feinstein GAM Theater, and I was musical accompaniment, and I was playing guitar, but it was the first time I was playing guitar after a long while, and at least I think that's correct. Is that right? Is that the right play? I might be conflating. I'm not really sure now. I might be a completely different play. Anyway, no, I am conflating. I am sorry. Time and memory and things, yeah, don't work. Anyway, all I know is that I wrote this at rehearsals for this Christmas play we were doing of Dylan Thomas's sort of like a reading of his what was his Christmas thing? I forget the name of it now. I forget a lot of things. Anyway, I wrote it in the backstage area during rehearsals when I wasn't needed. And I remember it coming very, very quickly. And it's kind of dreamlike. The lyrical imagery is very, very dreamlike. But I was very happy with how this one came out. Anyway, this one's called Coma 2.
So slowly with your hands so sensuous, create deep ripples beneath the sea. Touching so tentatively, feeling all incompletely. It's so comfortable to drown. Back into those waking dreams. it's hard enough with coolest comfort warming eyes. Catchiest 22s appear without warning. Do you shy or will you submit to try? Pull your bones up out of someone else's earth. The coma comes smiling, offers mint, tea and cookies laced with summer cyanide and glide. Perfect concoction for the weaver of self-deception. Kiss your gamble, throw the die. Snake eyes sink their teeth so deep inside. What do you hear? Will do water like that? When you dive, how deep do you go? Is it any more or less exquisite than the coma that I used to know? If it is, then take me there with you. I need to understand if I'm to let you stay. How will you approach and give yourself freely to this air? Let me see you breathing endless and shallow. Let me see you feeling shallow and lonely. Let me see your eyes forever trying to open wide. Your bones always trying hard to move, but always frozen, knowing something still dulls the marrow of your glow. Something you're needing to remove. Something you shouldn't need to live, lie in love with anymore. I know this place. I've been here so many times before. And I know it's hard, but follow me home, my love. Take my hand and lead the way. It's time to wake up, my love. It's time to wake up. It's time to breathe in, my love. It's time to breathe in. It's time. 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 It's time to wake up, my love.
That's Coma 2. Yeah, I don't know much to say about that. Just other than, I'm fairly happy with that one, actually. So, it's about 10 o'clock, closing on 10 o'clock. I figure I've been up here about 2 hours, just kind of hanging out. And thanks, everybody, for popping in. I am... So, again, so I think I kind of worked out that what I want to do is like I do 6 days on, 1 day off, 6 days on, 1 day off, et cetera, et cetera. And last night was kind of last night I was having so many technical difficulties. Like half the night was just trying to get back online or whatever. So I think I have figured it out. Now, Facebook, on the other hand, so I mean, it seems like this is working. People are seeing it. People are able to comment. That's kind of what I need to see in here, which is great. So I'll try this again tomorrow. I'll put up an event page and all that kind of stuff and let people know and figure it out from there. So I have other, again, I'm going to be doing more playing of my music and stuff like that. But I also want to potentially get some people coming up here that can chat, like Steve Job. Again, I'm working on a remaster with him. I was also looking at some other things, Meatballs Fluxus oriented, for those of you who remember that particular aggregate of people, and potentially see if I can get a Meatball Quorum up here. And I have been also slowly in the process of transferring many VHS tapes of our performances from way back, from as early. I think the earliest one I have is 1988. Actually, I'm looking at it right now. So it would have been 3 years after Meatballs was a thing. So, but anyway, I've got a lot of footage that has been digitized that I could show up here. And that might be fun to go through, but so it would be good to get some meatballs up here to comment on it as well. So anyway, there's some thoughts. Again, Christmas Eve, I want to do some sort of Christmas Eve something or other, where we maybe do a little viewing party of, like, if we can, TV episodes, Christmas TV episodes, and just watch them and chat and just kind of hang out and, see what happens and see if Facebook allows it to happen before shutting it down. But, and kind of go from there. And then if it shuts down, I'll figure it out and I'll start it back up, and then we'll come back up and just do other people's music or whatever. We'll just chat about nothing. So that's what I'm doing every night, pretty much. I will be up here doing this, that, and the other. So come on by. And Steph, I'm sorry you had such a bad day. I hope things got better, and I'm glad that I could be a little bit helpful. And if nothing else, that's if what I can do up here is helpful to anybody, just passing the time, whatever it might be, or if you love the chocolate tone of my voice, then you come on by again. And anyway, sorry, I had to make myself laugh there because Anyway, I'm glad that I can do this. It's a kind of I think back, when I was a kid, and just the fact that I can do this with very little equipment now is pretty. I still kind of marvel at it at this, even though it's part of my work, and I'm it's just part of my job. But every once in a while, I still kind of get a kick out of the idea. It's like, I got to do my own radio show with just the stuff I have at home. It's kind of cool, So if I could really do a radio show where I wouldn't have to worry about copywritten material, that'd be the best. But we're all working on that somehow. Anyway, I will hopefully see some folks tomorrow night, same time, about 8 o'clock. I will let people know in an event page, and we'll go from there. So I actually got to go have my late dinner. I've been doing that lately. I've been eating after this instead of before. And I'm going to watch some TV and go to sleep. So everybody stay safe in general. But indeed, stay safe tonight and or tomorrow with this lovely little New England blizzard that we're having. First one in a while. 18 upwards of, I think the last time, the last bit of forecast was up to potentially 18 inches. Because it changed. It got worse. So we'll see. But hopefully they're saying fluffy snow. So hopefully it'll be easy to shovel. We'll see. All right, folks. I'm gonna be out. I will talk to you hopefully at some point soon, if not tomorrow. And good night. Take it easy.